It's v.h.s.x. What do you mean?
Alright everybody, welcome back. We got a brand new video today that was suggested by one of you guys in the Discord community. Shout out to Dioist_69 for this Reddit post that's titled Scout Sacking 2v8 versus an even slightly advantaged killer with a meme attached. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the image because it might be kind of might be blocked. So I'm gonna show you guys real quick. As you can see, it says survivors with unfair advantage, behavior I sleep, killers with an unfair advantage, behavior real shit. So, as you can imagine, a lot of us killer players can completely relate and understand like where this meme is coming from. And this happens like constantly when it comes down to just anything that has to do with DBD. Like it's like you already have something that comes to mind. If you understand, if you played any killer, you already know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's really unfortunate that it's very prevalent, that a lot of people are calling it out. A lot of people are bringing attention to this, and there's going to be people that will disagree with you and try to pretend and claim like this isn't true, but yet there's evidence to prove these things, as you've seen with the a really good example that we can use streetwise, and it's infinite item bug. I think is a very important example that we can use, because keeping in mind that exploit allowed for infinite items, which means that they can either heal infinitely with a faster speed right around that time before they buffed up all the healing perks, or they can have toolboxes that have repair speed bonuses that can be used infinitely. And mind you, it's not like you need add-ons to like have like crazy bonuses on the toolboxes, because the way that the exploit worked is where you're pulling an item out of a toolbox, out of a or a toolbox out of a chest, which could have a chance of giving you additional bonuses to the already bonused up toolbox. And they so graciously stated around that time, oh, there's other bugs that have more priority. Why don't you report other bugs that we need to focus on, because that one is not as important as the other ones. It's like, but this one is giving an unfair advantage, and it's allowing for infinite items. Like, I'm pretty sure recently they kill switched Legion because they had infinite power, but infinite items, oh no, that's fine. Oh no, that's perfect. We want that in the game. Like, so it's like, why is there only rules for thee, not for me, head ass? Like, what's going on there? And that's my issue, when it comes down to their balancing decisions. That's my issue when it comes down to their decision making, because why is it that a killer player, for whatever reason, it's like, oh, they for some reason have this strange exploit. Oh, instantly nerfed, instantly kill switch. Oh, we gotta get that out of here. But then the second that there is a survivor exploit, they're super slow. They drag their feet to actually kill switch those things, to nerf those things, to stop those things. It doesn't make any sense to me. I don't understand it. So let's read a couple of comments. They say, didn't they say in one live stream that they will prioritize survivor fun in 2v8 more now? Yeah, I mean, that's kind of expected. The reason for that is because a lot of people prefer to play killer in 2v8. Even survivor mains will rush to go play 2v8 as killer. Bum rush it. They gotta do it. They gotta do it. And I get it. But as a killer player, I'm like, man, I don't ever get to lobby up with any of my friends, any of my homies. We can't get into killer. We have to play solo. Yet survivor lanes, y'all can load up with as many, all your homies in a group. Like, you can get 3 other people. Boom, you're in there. You can play matches, have fun. So it's like, damn, like, we finally get a chance for at least some killer players to come together and play some matches. Can't even do that, because queue times are horrible. I'm like, oh, thanks. Because they all want to fly over to survivor, and then they think the play while you wait is going to solve it. It's like, no. Because I've always been saying, like, even since they added play while you wait, like, waiting in the lobby was more interesting than running around the map at playing survivor in 2v8. It's just not that interesting. There isn't anything unique about it that's any different than the 1v4 experience. Like, oh, there's more people to look that are dying, I guess. Like, congratulations. It's not that interesting. So to me, it always feels like I'm like, like you're being told, hey, do your chores, do your homework, and then you can have fun. It's like, okay, so now I gotta fill this bar up and wait a while, and then fill this other bar up, and occasionally I get to hit space bar, and then fill the bar up some more, and then wait, and then, oh, I'm about to get chased. Oh, look, 2 of them came along. Now I'm just dead because I can't go anywhere because there's 2 killers in front of me. Cool. Die, get unhooked, healed, fill bar again, fill bar again. It's like what am I doing? But anyway, they say it's still having lowered queue times. Exactly. And then they say I can confirm survivors have more advantages in killers in 2v8, which is very true. This person says they always had since the very beginning. Killers have a drastically lower kill rate on 2v8, and it has been getting harder with every new iteration that happens to buff survivors. You'll be lucky to get more than 1 to 2 Ks now. That's how rough it has become. And this person says, from my experience, if I don't play high tier killers, I barely got 1 or 2 kills. Now, keeping in mind, right, I've played pretty much every iteration of 2v8 up to this point, and I can say with confidence that it has always been very survivor favored, even when it first dropped, because obviously there's more of them, which means more progression of those gens, which on combination with the fact that they can, they get those comeback mechanic bonuses that also increase the repair speed, which directly adds to their objective. And even with you deciding to, say, do badly, the decrease in gen speed really is insignificant, but yet somehow the gen repair bonus when you're losing is somehow boosted up where it's insane. And the problem, I think, is that the comeback mechanic already is flawed in its design, as it is. Like, as it is, it's flawed. I don't think that it's a good idea to have that in the game. But even so, right, even if you are forced to play Survivor every time, just so you can even get into a killer match, you will still have to deal with the horrible experience of dealing with teammates, just like any other multiplayer game that is in the market. And you'll just have people just dying left and right, not doing the gen, as usual. And it's unfun regardless. Like, the only time I'm actually enjoying the experience of the game on 2v8 is with killer, because it's way more interesting and way more engaging to be having to figure out how to use this, new power, basically, because it's essentially a more unique version of the power. It used to be way more unique back in this first iteration, but still, you are adding a couple new things. You're basically taking this killer and putting it in a new environment. It does offer a bit of more interesting aspects. I'm probably playing killers I don't really play, probably like Nurse or an Oni, or whether it be Blight, or sometimes I can play Billy, which I've been playing a lot of. So that's of course fun. But obviously you're kind of, after a certain point, you're kind of hitting a wall where you are forced into playing the S tier killers in order to keep up because of the gen speed, repair, blah blah blah, same stuff we've already been talking about nonstop. It's kind of annoying at this point. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. So this person says, it's a meme game mode anyway. It's not meant to be competitive. Lettuce, mayonnaise, and onions. And of course they get down to it, rightfully so. Rightfully so. I mean, honestly. And this person says, quote, you can shit on my plate since I only eat from it as a joke. Basically, yeah. And then the other one says, some of the survivors I have in my game. Yeah. I mean, it's really funny because a lot of people will, on Survivor, will say, oh, I'm just having fun, but they bring meta. I'm just having fun, but they sit there and sweat. Oh, I'm just having fun, but they are going into 8-man Swifts, which I've gone against in different times on the iteration of the 2v8. Because obviously, why wouldn't you, right? Like, you can do that. You can queue in with 8 people. I've gone against it before because they were live streaming. So that was already, boom, like, just saw it for real. And as you can see with the stats here, it says that they have a 90% escape rate. My goodness gracious. Lord have mercy. They say playing what is basically a PvE mode where you only lose if half your team goes AFK gets boring real fast. They need to add actual fun things to 2v8 and not just make it a free win for one side as a solution to bad queue times. Heck, add bloops, pumps at this point, and more classes and killers. Why are we playing it safe on such a chaotic mode? Average chase time 35 seconds, 90% escape rate. Yeah, that tracks from my experience too. Yeah, I mean, that pretty much makes sense. there's a very high likelihood that I could literally be on a gen, fall asleep at the wheel type stuff, and still be able to escape. Right? And keeping in mind, like, it's your one killer having to face 8 different survivors, plus giant map, plus pallet density, plus classes that can give free speed boosts, right? Because you have the sprint bursting perk that the class rather that can easily help you out with that. Then you now have the blinding bullshit, so you have Lightbringer too, or whatever it's called. So then you have the risk of not only being blinded, which means all your pressure disappears. You also have to deal with the amount of pallets that are there that you have to constantly break all of them, and then they can also be fixed every 60 seconds. So I mean, you could break like a bunch, and you just have to break them, because if you leave them up, they could get lifted back up, or just used and chained into something else. You break it, could get repaired in about a minute. Great. Healing can be remote. They have remote healing, right? Or they can heal 3 at a time, right? They can have 3 people healing 1 person, so healing speed is skyrocketed. Repair speeds are skyrocketed, especially with the comeback mechanics. Then you also have, don't forget, that the speed boost they can apply to their teammates, so they can run in a group together, all run out, have haste. They can obviously repair all the pallets, like I just said, every minute. It's like they have everything they need. So like I don't understand what you're supposed to do. Mind you, there's no bonuses really that apply for anything for killer, because notice that they've nerfed them every iteration. It used to be in the first iteration of 2v8 where you were able to actually, I don't know, work with your teammate to actually get bonuses and value. Then as each iteration came out, it became more and more selfish, and it made it more and more pointless to actually work as a team, which is pretty stupid. Then now in the latest iterations, we have cooldowns on our team ups, like 60-second cooldowns, some shit like that. For what, 5% haste for like 10 seconds or something? I'm like, what the hell are we doing? Why are we getting cooldowns for haste and undetectable and shit? Like, what? Like, why are we not being rewarded for doing what we're supposed to do? If I'm doing well, I should be able to get reap the benefits of doing well. Why am I getting a long ass cooldown? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Let alone it's supposed to be like chaotic. Is the idea, right? Because it's 2 killers, 8 survivors. You would think there'd be more of an impact, but clearly not. But anyway, they say, I would love if they would go crazy with the balancing, make both sides just really strong. It's the chaos mode experiment and give everyone a power trip. I'm a bit on the fence with that. It depends on how they do it. You know what I mean? They say strange that everything went up by ×2. 2 killers, 8 survivors. If there's 8 gens to do a set of 10 for some reason. Yup, thank you. I almost forgot to mention that. Why is there not 10 gens to do? Everything went up doubled except the gens, for some unknown reason. They say even 1 extra gen would go a long way. Right now, even if the killers are doing well, survivors get such a massive compensation repair speed boost. They end up finishing the gens anyway a lot of the time. It's pretty stupid. Exactly. And what makes it more annoying, I think, when you're getting just fucking steamrolled on the killer side in 2v8, is the fact that you not only have to just get a 5-minute game on 2v8 for killer, but then you have to queue for 2 more games of survivor because 20-minute queue time. You're like, okay. So I get to fall asleep playing the game for 2 matches straight. Finally get in there, get pumped, get some adrenaline. You're like, oh yes, finally, some fun. And then you just have to go right back to, okay, back on the bar filler simulator, back to filling the bar again, back to filling the bar again, back to filling this again. Like, it's boring as hell. They say, sounds about right. They do need to incentivize 4 times as many players to pick up Survivor in the mode, so why not ruin it for killers while they're at it? Literally. Yo. And then they say they did. This is why Legion got old Yellered and Survivor only ever gets buffed. It seems that way. So yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. So it says, love that the scout class is still in, but Pig having extra RBTs had to get shut down Pig. And then this person says, ah yes, who could forget the S tier killer Pig, where every little advantage she would lead to insta wins. But you know the drill, time to nerf Pig again. Yeah, basically. I mean, I don't even know what that means, technically speaking, because I haven't played Pig much to even be able to, know exactly what that is. But you can apply it to anything. Ooh, this person says, as a pig main, this made me extremely mad. I don't get the devs and their choices. Can't ever do anything nice for killers, ever. Let's not forget the tiny little love taps to Ghostface. Barely anything to help the worst killer in the game. Mind-numbing. Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad somebody said it. I'm glad somebody said it. Thank you. I'm glad that somebody's like fighting the good fight and representing, because this is just ridiculous already. And obviously, this is another thing that I've spoken about extensively. Survivors is 4 users with money. Killer is 1 user with money. And then this person says this. People think Killer versus Survivors and identity people clash about. It's not. It's economy playing us. Just like real life. Yeah. I've spoken about that plenty of times. I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, as a Killer player with 1 person, we can buy maybe 1 skin or 2, because we probably play about like a handful of killers usually. Like, I'm not playing every single killer in the entire game. Like, that's just not what I do. But I am going to be buying, say I like 3 killers. I'll be getting a skin probably for each, versus like more money overall with Survivor, because you can buy 1 headpiece, 1 chest piece, 1 pants piece for every Survivor in the game that they like to play. And because Survivor is exactly the same no matter what you click on, you can just mix and match different clothing items all over the place and still get like tons of money coming out of it because of that. Like, it's just way more money than that. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's like, what do you expect? You know what I mean? And this person says, I don't know why people are surprised by this. Behavior has not been subtle about where their priorities lie. It was the same with Streetwise and Mindbreaker last year. Which is, yeah, that's what I was talking about, like, even before I started. We even started reading any of this. This is exactly what I was saying. Like, there's different examples we can pull from that have been shown evidently that they are just more interested in catering to the side that makes the most money, which is going to be the Survivor side. And what's funny is that you can bring up this point and it's as if like people just don't really have any other rebuttal to that. They just say wrong and walk away. And it's like, okay, but we're still right at the end of the day. Like, you can put yourself in your echo chamber as much as you like, but the truth will always still be the same. You know what I mean? It's just how it goes. It's just how it is. So it's like, what do you expect? You know what I mean? They say, frankly, based on a recent stream where they called killer players evil for slugging, behavior seems to be in real shit modes when the killers dare to try to with survivors having try to deal with survivors having an unfair advantage, which is most of the time. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, and there's gonna be people that disagree with that, and I think it's just because of the fact that they're playing a different game than a lot of people are that are talking about this topic. Keeping in mind that at the lowest MMRs, the average MMRs, sometimes it is a lot of very simple games that you probably will get steamrolled because of lack of experience, because your teammates are bad, and your experience would be, oh man, killer is so crazy. But it's like, you have to look at the HUD and look at what's happening here and understand why this is occurring. Well, understand why these things happen the way they do, because keeping in mind, it's not like killers just steamroll because they exist. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, like at the end of the day, the people that are losing the most are the most inexperienced. The higher experience level you get, it's going to just be a flat out loss every time, basically, especially if you're playing a low tier. Unless you're playing an S tier that can level the playing field, it's going to be a losing game against experienced players, especially with communication, because that's going to be the #1 thing that's going to invalidate a majority of the killer players and their abilities, because they can, especially stealth killers, that you'll know their information, doesn't even matter at that point. But anyway, so they say also, when recently talking about what killers would not appear in 2v8, they said something about prioritizing survivor fun. I understand what they're talking about, but this is a slippery slope. You need 8 players willing to play survivors in order for the mode to work, but you also need 2 players willing to put up with killer queue times. Exactly. And they also say that survivors is too easy in 2v8, which I've spoken about that even in the last 2v8. They make it very autopilot on the 2v8 and then for the survivor. And it's like, holy smokes, dude. Like, it's super boring. It feels like you're doing like some chores or some nonsense, and it's just super boring. So it is what it is. This person says that issue quickly becomes, if you talk to enough people, they'll say any killer isn't fun to verse, or the issue becomes how annoying they would be in conjunction with other killers. Like, Hag on her own wouldn't be bad, but maybe with Trapper becomes horribly unfun. They have a few options that could have just been thrown in, since worst case scenario they could just ban them like they did with Legion, as long as they don't have other factors complicating things. Now, the one thing that I will add on to that is possibly license holders. Like, a lot of those people probably will be like, oh, we don't want to, you know, don't use our character in that for whatever unknown reason. Who knows? But we at least understand that they have to get approval from that. If it's an original character, and it's really up to them to put it in. And I don't know why they don't try to experiment more and just dump some characters in and just see what happens. Because if they're trying to say, oh, we want this mode to be permanent, then maybe you should try to make big moves to try to see like what could work. Try different things, like just to see what's good, see what works. Just try it. Hey, let me try Trickster. Let's try Hag. Let's try what's another character that could be like pretty interesting in 2v8? Unknown or something. Like, just try different characters. Be like, okay, let's just see if they work. Let's see if this one fits. See if people like this. Try, like, they try to play it super safe, and it's like you gotta try to experiment in order to see if the mode could be even better. Because at the in my opinion, the first iteration was a good foundation, and they completely strayed away from that interesting aspects of teamwork, having unique classes that actually do things. At least for the killer side. If you were to take the killer side as an advantage, like with those things, like the you know, working as a team aspects, like, okay, like, you know, original Hillbilly had a one hit instead of he would have one hit you with his saw, and but he would increase the turn rate, and then if you saw past somebody, you can apply exposed, and then your teammate can down them. That was cool. But then, like, why don't we have like the unique classes for Survivor, then add in those things from the original 2v8 for Killer? You probably have a pretty good thing going. All right, so this person says, I've been a massive 2v8 simp, but I've really started to sour on in this iteration, especially because it's confirmed Legion is not coming back. On the Killer side, you wait 30 minutes to get Larry's on Slinger. Since Legion was removed, you have no slowdown. Every match is a coin flip. If you get a bad map, it's over, and if survivors have a higher than room temperature IQ, it's also over. On Survivor side, it's so disgustingly easy, you might as well be playing on Sandbox. It's cool for blood point farm, but at one point it gets so easy you get bored. The fact is that it's so easy, it makes it 5 times as bullshit when you lose, because you know the sole reason you lost because your teammates are dog shit. There's basically nothing you can do against a half competent team. Obviously, as Killer, I wish I could queue for regular 1v4 as Survivor while waiting for Killer, to be honest. Basically, yeah. I mean, yeah. That pretty much sums it up, I think, right there. Survivor's super easy, they overbuffed it. Killer is extremely just a slog when you're going against it, because you know that it's super easy sandbox mode. So it's like either way, like I enjoy the Killer experience more when I'm playing 2v8, because it's obviously you're playing with a friend, you're getting in there going crazy, trying to like synergize your powers, or trying to, like, you know, work together to take everybody down. It's fun in that aspect, but then you're forced into slogging through 2 boring ass sandbox games to get right back where you want to be, and it's like the momentum ain't there. Like it seems like you're like hyped up, adrenaline, and then you're right back to falling asleep mode for like the whole 20-30 minutes, and right back to it. Finally, we did it, boys. And then right back to falling asleep, yawn, yawn, yawn. Then you go right back to it. Like, it's such an annoying slog, and it's very exhausting. So yeah, it's just very annoying. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I want to hear what you guys think about the topic at hand today. Have you tried the 2v8? Do you like the 2v8? Do you think that it should, you know, be adjusted? I want to know what you guys think. Let me hit the like, hit the sub, man. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys in the next one. Become a member on YouTube or Patreon, or even subbing on Twitch as well. See you guys next time. All right, let's go ahead and read off these wonderful members. We got Patreon, Crow Vader. All my YouTube members, Brando, Evil Blade, Cap Courteous, WTF You're Not J-Lo, Evil Peach, Cargan Falcon, Dole Whip, Noxus, Zero Mocker, Jack, Christian, and Crow Vader. Really appreciate you guys supporting, man. And if you also subbed on Twitch, just know that you got love coming your way too. Appreciate you guys, man.